Is Dianna justified in killing everybody?
I'd be like the three-headed dude from Godzilla. I love him.
I threw the book. I absolutely threw the book. What are you most excited about?
I have done so much foreshadowing and hints and leading up to where we're going now in number 4 that I'm so excited, 1, for when to get it, 2, to see what I've been hinting at, and finally, because it's kind of like where this is like the precipice, I guess you could say, where like every book, of course, has its like climax. Well, I feel like in this series, this book is that climax part, and then after that, you know, it goes where it goes. But I'm just excited for when to get it, and GG's. Good luck.
For sure. You were saying that the 6th or 7th book will possibly be like a novella?
So originally because I talked to my publishers about this, I had always planned for 7. And in the beginning of it, I was like, okay, well, if I can get it down and done and everything nice, clean, in a bow, I could do 7 as novella. But I outlined it and how the books have been going. I don't necessarily want my books to be 600-700 pages. I just know what story has to be told in that one. And as we got to like 3, and then when I was doing this one, I was like, there's no way that I could have 7 as novella. 7 has to be the final, because I just don't want to wrap everything up. I mean, we have multiple POVs. I know, you did Book of Azrael, but like after that one, we opened, like the world's open. So multiple POVs, different, everyone has like a storyline and so forth. And it just seemed unfair if like every, person or couple gets their time to shine, but then 1 or 2 of them are like, and now they're done. The end. Let's go home, So
it's funny, something I did not expect. Or someone I didn't expect to feel sorry for.
Who was it?
It's fucking Kaden.
He's got a fan base. He's got a club. He's got a club. So all I say is I can't wait for you to get further.
Oh my God. When I heard, because we think Kaden's the big bad.
Yeah.
Before we get to the second one. Then we get to the second one and you realize he's not the big bad. He has a boss. He's clocking into work every day.
9 to 5. 9 to 5, yes. He's got a mouse to feed, kind of.
And you hear the backstory of how they're like, you can't get close to her. This is not your boo thing. This is a weapon. She is a tool. Treat her as such. And then Dianna walks in on him, and it's like, oh my God, like he loves her.
He does.
He like really loves her.
It's canon. The author has told you guys several times before, because I've had people ask, because they were like, no, he doesn't. Kaden loves Dianna. Kaden is in love with Dianna. That does not mean it's the same love. It does not mean it's the same thing, especially given his circumstances, you know what I mean? But it doesn't change how he feels, and it is real. You know what I mean? So
who loves her more, Samkiel or Kaden?
It's always going to be Samkiel. And let me put it this way. When it comes to like, if we're in a tight race about who loves her more, it's Samkiel, but they both have this kind of level of devotion depending on what they would do for her, if that makes sense. And that's not like a spoiler or anything. And of course, like, depending on where readers are now, because I'm sure you have people who just started the series or people who have like been in there and like excited for you guys to like get to it and stuff. So you'll kind of see more behind those scenes, I guess. But yeah, I mean, they're both willing to do kind of whatever when it comes to her. You know?
I heard someone say, no one will ever know the violence it took to become this gentle. And when I hear it, I think about Samkiel. What in your own life prepared you to write Samkiel, the character? And what in your life prepared you to write Dianna?
So I know that authors sometimes get the question of like, are you this character? Did you take from this character? And I do feel like in its own way, except for the big bad, because I there's no level of evil I can do. That's just based off of stuff we see in reality. Right. But like, I do feel like tiny pieces of me possibly could be in like these characters. You know what I mean? So for Samkiel, he was cathartic to write as well, because like, even though like you gotta think of him kind of like, even though he's a dude, like kind of that eldest daughter in a way. Like, he's responsible for everything. He's had this crown thrusted on him since he's like born, pretty much, with like these roles he didn't ask for, but he has to like step up and take those. And so like he's dealing with that. This like soul-crushing, like, responsibility. So a little bit of that played into him. When it came to, like, when we talked about, in book 1, we really explored more of his, like, depression, which is a big part, because I feel like, hopefully, not everyone in the world experiences that level of depression or so forth, or depression at all.
Right.
But I pulled from things that I've experienced with my own personal life, you know, or, like, the PTSD and all that stuff, because you can get it from any traumatic event. So those little pieces kind of helped, like, shape him. And I love that character so much. You know what I mean? But that definitely did help. And then with Dianna, I can't light anything on fire. Sorry, guys. I'm ruining everything for you. But sidebar, here we go. I'm a big Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh,
right?
girl, speak my language.
Yes. And so, like, a lot of the humor and a lot of the stuff is in this. And so, like, we talked about a second ago where you said, like, Kaden wasn't the big bad. I kind of played with the books like seasons in a way. So, like, you think, oh, he's the big bad in this one. JK, it's really so-and-so. But with Buffy, there was like an interview years and years ago where the screenwriters talked about the demons and stuff they made in that show were all like analogies for something else, like addiction or so forth, right? And so Dianna having this fire personality is just kind of an outward manifestation of how she is, like how hard she loves, how fiercely she loves, etc. And you see that with like his sister and stuff too. So the tidbit of her for me would just be like how I value my friends or my family or like my sister. Like, you love someone if you could, and it was in a fantasy setting, you hurting someone, oh, it's over.
Yeah.
Daenerys, where you at? You know what I mean?
Oh my God. So let me ask you this question too. This is totally off the rails, but do you think Daenerys's reaction and what she did at the end is justified?
Hear me out. What do I think that she should have burned King's Landing? I don't think she should have went like 4 score on the civilians. Okay, I don't think that, but I do. So I loved Game of Thrones. I was not a super fan of any because I also was on Reddit for a while with the spoilers, and they're like, "Oh, if they do this bell thing, this happens," and I'm like, "All right, I'm watching the show. I ain't heard a single bell." And then Tyrion mentioned it. I was like, "Oh, damn it," you know? I was like, "Damn it." So what didn't make sense to me was, and this is just could be how they responded to it, is she has a dragon. She's above gates, so taking out the Scorpions army, I get that. That's war. But you know where Cersei's at, and you know she's in the tower, but you decide, hey, you know what? Let me get everything, and I'll get that tower last, maybe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, to me, it didn't make sense, because I think go for her, because that's who you wanted to, and take the crown anyways. And while the time we were burning up people who were just like, hey, we just live here, she could be gone too. So you still would have lost, you know what I mean? So that didn't make sense to me. Little hate, little shade, I don't care.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I disagree a little bit. Like, when you see everybody that she lost.
Oh, I don't think she's mad.
Continuously.
I totally.
I was just like,
why she didn't go for Cersei?
Yeah, I think that was the part that like didn't click with her character and who she's been throughout the whole series, right? Like, she never does that to the innocent. Like, her entire arc was freeing people.
She's a breaker of chains.
Yeah.
What was that?
That didn't make sense to me.
No.
But
I think
the anger.
Because they had to wrap it up. Oh, 100%. Listen, George, call me. Let's be best friends. I would have loved, and I said this before, we're getting so off topic, I don't even care.
George, hit her DMs ASAP.
Hit me up. I love you. You're great. I wish what would happen, because I talked to my friend about this, I wish that season 6 would have been The Long Night, because that was the plot line that I love, and I love it in the books and stuff like that, that I feel like they rushed so quickly. I feel like season 6 should have been The Long Night, dealing with the Night King, whatever, and then if they wanted her to go mad or seem crazy or whatever they were thinking, season 7 could have been all of that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But it was just so quickly wrapped up, admitted, and it was like, you have to accept this, and if you didn't, you weren't paying attention. I was like, you guys wanted to leave to do a different show that you also lost.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
For sure.
Yeah.
No, I feel that.
So, no. But after losing Missandei and all the stuff she's lost,
I think bringing it back to Dianna, is Dianna justified in killing everybody that she kills in the second book?
Oh, 100%.
Why?
They should not have... I'm just kidding. I feel... So, with Dianna, and I said this in the first one, is, like, she kind of has, like, her own Deadpool, like, her own hit list, kind of. Because it's coming down to these people who were involved, because she remembered every face that was on there. And then it's coming down to people...
fucking talent.
I know, right?
She's
like,
remembered everybody.
She was like, I see you. Okay, I see you too. Laugh again. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
But it's more so she's going after kind of these people that are responsible, that were like in that line, especially like dealing with Drake, who's like her best friend, and he's like, hey, guess what? No one really on your side.
Yeah.
But this is why. I don't know. There's reasons for everything, and there's reasons why this person be scared of this person, who's scared of this person, because they have to work and do this thing, and they don't have a choice. But I feel like, I don't know, if you really did love them or something, there would be a choice. Samkiel's gonna make a choice, but you know, like Drake and them kind of back themselves up, and you kind of see that in the dialogue in the beginning of book 2, because Camilla talks about it, you know. So, I don't know. I mean, she did warn everyone.
She did. Don't fuck with my sister.
Yeah, it's kind of like, hey, this oven's hot, and then they touch it and like, well, now I'm burned. Well, I told you. Why am I in trouble? I gave you a sign.
Stop acting like a child.
Yeah, there was an alert. You didn't follow.
Did Gabby have to die for Dianna to grow?
Yes.
Why?
Okay.
Yeah,
I know. So one thing about me, no, just kidding. No. One thing about it is like, especially when I'm building these characters, writing these characters, etc. I wouldn't necessarily say that I have expiration dates on these characters, but when they fulfill an arc, I don't feel like they're necessary for the story anymore. And that's not something where it's like I'm not doing for shock value. I'm not trying to make anyone upset. You know what I mean? But there are reasons. And so with Dianna, and this is my nerd brain. Give me a second. So with Dianna, I know that the age is like how old she's been or how long she's been around, but we're talking about immortals, and we're talking about how they don't view time after a certain time. Because if you can live forever, 5 minutes, it's like a second. You know what I mean? So like it doesn't necessarily count. So you have Dianna, who gives up her life for her sister, has like these moments and stuff with her. They move, they do all this, but she's still almost like introverted herself, even though she's confident, even though she's strong, even she's this, like she still kind of walks on these eggshells, because like, you know, she's in servitude of the big bad at that time, you know, and so it's like, you know, I can't do this, I risk Gabby, I can't do that, I risk Gabby, I want to leave with this, or like I have to kind of maintain that. And then it's this growth almost, because Gabby even mentions it before in book 1. She's like, you know, yes, you saved me, you gave me a life, but what about you? You're not living, you know, and that's not a life for me, for us to like continually do this, you know. And after she passes, R.I.P. I'm so sorry. After she passes, you see that Dianna kind of like, you know, she's in her like Jean Grey, like Dark Phoenix mode, and like she evolves, and it's still the same Dianna, but not, you know what I mean? Because you always lose a piece of yourself during grief, but to me in the story, she did become stronger, you know, like nothing can like kind of stop her almost in a way where it's not going to be like telling her no. If this is something that's going to work, or I think it's going to work, I'm going to do it. You know? She doesn't necessarily have that like metaphorical leash kind of anymore. But while it was sad, it was still something where she kind of needed that to grow or be who she is now, to be this like leader in some instances, you know?
I think it was just crazy because I like, in certain ways, because they talk about how Gabby brought her back.
Yes.
Right? And you see her not feeding, and then this bloodlust is just like crazy. It kind of reminds me of Stefan when he becomes the Ripper.
Oh my god, I need Joseph Morgan to say that again. It was so cool. But he was taking heads off.
It was almost like she was addicted. Like she could not stop because she was trying to satiate that like pain that she was like feeling. And it just made me really sad for her.
Oh yeah, well, it is sad. It's something because she repressed it for so long, and then to get it, it was almost like, in its own fantasy terms, kind of like the sugar high, and that she was getting from, while her body does need it, because she is ignoranthian, you know, so her body does need it, and all this stuff, it just had been deprived for so long, so now that she's had it, one, it makes her stronger, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I do need this to survive. Yeah. But since I was gone without it for so long, look at what it's kind of done now, you know what I mean? And it went from 0 to 100 in the worst possible way. Yes. Like you said. The worst possible way. So totally in her Ripper era. Yeah, for sure.
How, okay, so, and when I'm thinking about her as an Ignoranthan, is she a dragon? Is she a wyvern?
No, it's wyvern, so like they don't have the legs. I'm such a vampire girly, because you grow up on like the TVs, like we talked about Buffy and stuff, that the Ignoranthians to me were just in the most basic terms, we're like shape-shifting vampires kind of thing.
Got you. Okay.
So while they do have the wyvern form, which they like the best, because if you could turn into anything, you know you would want to be something.
Dragon. Yeah, give me that.
I'd be like the three-headed dude from Godzilla. I love him. I love him. But you know what I mean? Like, if you could turn anything, and that happens in other books, you'll see her, like, who she can, like, change into or whatever. But I just kind of wanted a cool, like, fantasy, like, creature that we haven't really seen before. Mm-hmm. But of course, they prefer that form, which is their, like, most destructive.
How much pain is too much pain for your character to endure or have on display for the reader?
I guess it depends on anyone's pain level or threshold. Mm-hmm. Because it's going to depend on what they've been through or not been through, because like what could be painful to me maybe is like level 2 to someone else. You know what I mean? Because everyone's had their own different experiences. I just didn't want to sugarcoat anything. Mm-hmm. One of my readers had said this when the books first started blowing up, and I loved it, where like, I do feel like I'm writing romantasy, but I do feel like this is like dark romantasy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because the themes and topics we talk about or go through or discover, and with grief, I didn't want it to be something that's washed over. Mm-hmm. And with Dianna, I didn't have to, just because how the story was. So yeah, it just depends. So I don't know, like if it's something that's hurting the reader, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to, but at the same time, I can't make someone that she would die for just be like, okay, well, I'm over it now. Everything's back to normal.
Yeah.
We're all fine.
Yeah. Gabby's death hurt me. Mm-hmm. But what really got me, what really irked my gears, was when she ripped her fucking heart out. Yeah. We're going to send you this
video. This is book
video.
1, right?
Book 1.
Okay.
I'm going to send you this video. Yes. I lost my fucking
You were like, get me out of here.
I threw the book. Yeah. I absolutely threw the book. Because in my head, I'm like, yo, why would you rip your heart out? Mm-hmm. First of all, Samkiel, why the fuck did you leave the book in the shit, bro? What are you doing, bro?
Like, oh yeah, I just put this right here.
This is your fault, Samkiel. Yeah. But then she does it, and in my head, I'm like, but she just sacrificed Gabby too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, what's her thought process right there? Because I didn't understand.
So with her, one thing about Dianna, even though like she's technically morally greater than the villain, like she is a self-sacrificing queen. Yes. Okay, especially for the one she loves. So in these kind of like impossible situations to her, she's like, okay, I don't want them to get the book because already we're going to lose if they do. Samkiel's here, and to be fair, Gabby's back in the Silver City. She's good. She's locked up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So in her eyes, this sacrifice, she doesn't know what it's going to do. She thinks it's going to be the end of her. So it's like, hey, he'll have the book. He can keep her safe. He can do all this stuff, but I'm also helping because that's just how she mentalizes it. You know what I mean? She's going to pick her loved ones, kind of like, you know, over anything else. And
I was so mad. I was livid in the scene because Sam, again, like the book boyfriends have been letting me down. I'm not gonna lie. When I was reading the Throne of Glass, where Rowan is like at the top of the camp and he has to get to the tent, I'm like, bro, all these motherfuckers got all of this power. You can't get over there in 0.2 seconds, bro. It took you forever to get here, and that's how I felt about Samkiel. Like I think he is like this, like. He is a god. Like, he is a god.
World ending one.
And I'm like, bruh, you couldn't think of nothing else to do?
So the thing with that though too is I kind of want, okay, so he was gone for 1,000 years, depressed, love him so much, but he's coming back and he's slowly like using these powers or letting those powers slip, you know? And so it like I said, it's just that split second of this impossible situation where it's like, I mean, he tells her afterwards, you didn't give me a choice. I could have done this. You don't know how fast I am. Like, you know, they kind of have that little spiel afterwards or whatever, right? But there's like little things, it makes sense. Like I said, I'm not spoiling, we're getting further, but it makes sense of why things happen the way they do and why like maybe he hasn't used this stuff yet.
Okay. As a person of color,
yeah.
Do you feel like you have the space to create characters inspired by popular archetypes without the critique of the character being a derivative or copy of white popular characters?
I've had it happen before. I don't go into like review spaces, right? I don't go where I'm not like tagged or something like them being respectful or something fun. So in the beginning, yes, like comparison, but everyone's going to compare something. I think it's more human nature and just how our brains work a lot of the time. But I didn't really care. Like, I was already these characters have been thought about for a while. I had already decided, like, what I'm going to do with them, etc. It's just more so, like, I just have to stick to their arc, what they're about, and so forth. And if the comparisons happen, they happen.
It feels like you have, like, a thicker skin where you're like, I'm not even thinking about that.
Yeah.
I'm writing my book. I'm doing it for my people.
You kind of have to in this game, you know what I mean? Like, you're putting yourself on such a public display. Not everyone's gonna like everything. Sorry guys, I don't like chocolate. I don't like sweets much, but other people do. See the face?
What?
See the face? You know what I mean? But
I am a sweet thing.
And that's why it'd be great. We're all friends. You can just I'll lie and someone gives them to me and it'll be like, oh, and then I give it to you guys. You know what I mean? But like, not everyone's gonna like everything.
Yeah.
So if I'm sitting here worried about pleasing the entire world when humans in general are so fickle, I'm gonna be miserable. I don't want to. You know what I mean? So no, I don't. I know comparisons happen. Like, of course, you can like kind of like laugh and joke with your friends about it and stuff too, but they're still their own people.
Yeah.
I do feel like the comparisons are gonna disappear after the 4th book. I won't say why, but I do feel like that. But I will say, just in regards to the question you had, I don't get that as much. I will say when I first had the books come out, because Kaden's black, you know that, Samkiel's dad is, Samkiel's mixed, etc., I did get kind of pushback in the beginning of like, well, why is so-and-so character act this way? And I don't want to read the books because the character is this color and they're doing this. And I'm like, so why can't me or my family or people that even look like me, why can't we be upset? Or why can't we have story arcs? We're not the best friend. We are in the spotlight. Can we not be the villain if we want to be the villain?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we should be allowed to have a multitude because everyone else always gets a multitude, you know? So that was more so
Words
a push.
to fucking live by.
That was more so the push I got in the beginning. And then I would be, if someone, you know, these would come to me and I was like, okay, well, you explain to me why you feel this way and I'll tell you why I think that's weird.
Love that.